Welcome into Between the Lines. I'm Tatum Everett. This is Ben Leber, and your Vikings are 1-0 to start the 2025 season. Never a doubt, Ben, was there? Never a doubt.
Yeah.
It was a wild one as the Vikings scored 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win 27-24 and earn that win. What was that? Actually, let me start with this.
Yeah.
When did you start to feel the momentum change on the sideline?
I mean, after the first touchdown. You could tell after that first touchdown is like, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're building. You could see JJ's timing getting just a little bit better. You could see him just like really the processing speed was picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having the run game and all this other stuff and the defense keeping them involved and like keeping it close, that all like mattered. But then once he got that first touchdown, it was almost like, okay, we can relax a little bit. Let's just go out there and play ball. Let's not worry about mistakes. And he started ripping it. And it was 3 straight, and it was unbelievable.
Right. So 169 yards, 6 explosive plays, 3 for 4 on third down, and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. To see that type of performance from this offense, what do you think it says about this group?
Well, and you put on top of that, I think they were 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 on third down before that. Mm-hmm. So, they couldn't move the chains at all. But let me tell you a story that Aaron Jones just told us in the locker room, and I think this kind of sums up JJ McCarthy's demeanor, his presence, his attitude. Right before they went out to score those first 3 touchdowns, he gets the guys in the huddle. He's getting ready to call a play, and he looks at all the guys in the eye and he goes, "Any place you guys would rather be?" And the guys were like, damn. Like,
this is cool.
That's a hell of a question given the moment. And, they're like, and so Aaron was even saying like he was so shocked and so impressed by, just where he was mentally. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like, right. They're like, yeah, there's no other place I'd rather be than right now. Mm-hmm. Even given the situation, we're down, haven't moved the ball much, but still there's that confidence, that positivity. And then from there, I think it's safe to say that was the catalyst. That was the spark. That
was the spark that flipped the script there in the fourth quarter. However close the score was, it was the defense after that allowing that touchdown in the first quarter from the Bears. The defense really put on a show there at the end. What do you think sparked their incredible performance there down the stretch? I
think just stopping the run. You go in as a defensive player and you always talk about the first thing we have to do is stop the run. Mm-hmm. And they were mauling guys up front, and every yard was tough. And not to say that, the Bears didn't have some yards on the ground, but I think you look at the first half and they had something like 55 yards, and Caleb had half of that just in his scrambles. Mm-hmm. So when you look at DJ Moore being a running back, you look at the running backs the traditional plays of the running back. They didn't have much, and it was the scrambles that kind of hurt us, and that kind of extended the plays, extended the chains a little bit. But overall, I think those guys just collectively owning the fact that they're not going to beat us on the ground. And, going into this game, these guys talked a lot about, we watched so much Detroit Lions film because that's what Ben Johnson's doing. Mm-hmm. And you try to take the scheme and the philosophy and apply it to what these guys can do on this team athletically. And you're like, well, are we going to see this? Are we not going to see this? But the hallmark of Ben Johnson's offense is to run the football. So no matter who he has back there, he was going to find creative ways to run the ball, and he wants to commit to the run. So they knew, doesn't matter who's back there. Doesn't matter if they're going to put a receiver back there. We got to stop these guys run the football because his whole offense is predicated off of that.
So they had the missed field goal to start the second half, which kind of just crumbled on the way down. And it's like one of those ESPN win predictors, they're like, Bears, then not Bears.
The graph is just kind of going up and down.
Up and down, right. So when I think of the new faces that are on there, Brian Flores' scheme is difficult to learn at times, but when understood and led by such great defensive minds like a Josh Metellus but you see Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen there in the front as new faces. What was it like? Because obviously they were brought in to stop the run. What was it like to have them in there?
Well, not only were they asked to stop the run, but I also think that they were brought in because they give us a little bit more of a dynamic presence when we have to convert play action pass on early downs into getting the quarterback. And, you go from stopping the run and then transition into a pass rush. It's very difficult. But when you have guys that are experienced, they have a little bit more twitch to their body.
Yeah.
You're looking for that vertical push. And I think those guys gave us that in the pass rush game. Now, listen, we're not going to see a lot of guys like Caleb Williams running around out there, elusive, athletic, avoiding the rush. He made a lot of spectacular plays with his body.
Did.
I don't think we're going to see that very often.
Okay.
I think, what we saw today from a defensive front that's, the interior guys are brand new. It's so positive. It's phenomenal. I mean, they are able to get to the passer. Yes, we'd like to bring him down a little bit more, but that's a pretty special player over on the other side.
Speaking of special, I wanted to bring up the special teams efforts of this group because that 59-yard field goal, which is a career high from Will Reichard, second longest in Vikings history, was the difference maker in this game, making that field goal early on. And then obviously when Santos missed his field goal, it could have gone either way. Well, having his confidence back means a lot to this team. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree to that. I mean, the funny thing about that field goal, it was like I couldn't believe it actually got through there because it was about yay high off the ground the whole way. And, from my perspective on the opposite side of the field, I was like, is that even going to cross?
It was so hard for us to see.
Is that going to go over the crossbar?
Yeah,
but it was a line drive and he nailed it. And, props to him, a career high for him. And then, we're going to talk special teams. I mean, Miles Price.
Yep.
We thought, could he be the X factor in this game, knowing that this could be a defensive battle? We need field position, and he came out and did everything that we were hoping that he'd be.
It is quite remarkable what he was able to do.
Yeah.
Very special night for him, for Will Reichard. But I wanna end this talking about J.J. McCarthy one last time.
Yeah.
When he hit the other J.J. Jets in the end zone on that beautifully thrown touchdown, to me that was my play of the game.
Yeah.
What would your play of the game be?
I would probably have to say the wheel route to Aaron Jones.
Oh, that was such a good one.
It was such a well-crafted play, and it definitely caught them off guard a little bit. And again, it was a throw that had to be thrown on time, directionally a little bit away from the defenders on the inside leverage, basically thrown to that front pylon, and then Aaron's got to make a little bit of an adjustment to make that play. So, yes, I loved him ripping the ball right down the middle of the field to JJ. That was great. That got the monkey off the back. But then after that, I mean, it was a great anticipation throw to Aaron Jones.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
The Vikings now have won 6 straight here at Soldier Field. Kevin O'Connell, undefeated at Soldier Field against the Bears, which is awesome to see.
Feels real good.
Thank you guys so much for watching In Between the Lines. We'll see you for the home opener next weekend on Sunday Night Football.